Welcome, Flames fans, to another edition of Flames Unfiltered, hosted by myself, Brad Burud, and Kyle Lewis. Kyle, the clock is ticking. It is ticking every minute, and I'm getting a little more worried as the days go by.
Why are you worried?
I don't know. I don't like waiting to the last minute, and quite honestly, Calgary doesn't usually wait till the last minute, so I get worried.
I'm not worried at all. I'm probably the most excited I've been in a long time because there certainly isn't anything on the ice worth cheering for right now. You know, apart from some younger players getting some chances, but I think we're going to be okay.
You think you're going to be? Is it going to be a busy week? You think, or disappointing week?
No, I wouldn't be in this good of a mood if I thought it was going to be disappointing. I think it's going to be a fantastic week. I think we're going to get rid of a lot of players, and I'm not even that concerned about the returns. I just want the roster, I want the cap space. I want the players gone. I want to continue in this direction.
I am not really worried about the returns, especially in the Kadri front. I don't know.
We want that contract gone, right? So that's the main thing. Just moving on. Yeah.
Have you watched a lot of hockey since the Olympics?
Not a lot. The best thing I've watched, I guess, was Andres Lee buzzer beater against the game last night. Who were they playing? Florida, who just can't seem to get their shit together. So that's always entertaining. I like watching Matthew Tkachuk lose. So,
I watched a lot. I've watched quite a bit. It was hard. I'm not gonna lie. The first few games were like the intensity level, right? But now, I thought last night's game against Anaheim was everything you can ask for the current state of the Calgary Flames fan base, right? It was fun. It was entertaining. I loved what Gridin did. I loved what Cooley did. There was a lot of good in that game, and quite honestly, a lot of entertainment. And this week, we got to see games that were, Thursday we beat San Jose 4-1. San Jose is a fun team to watch. Saturday night's game against LA was a little a 2-0 loss. I had struggled. That was a little bit more frustrating to watch that one. And then last night losing in a shootout, but damn, it was probably one of the better overtimes and one of the better shootouts I've seen in quite some time.
Yeah, it's hard to watch when there's nothing to play for.
It is. It's a different mindset.
Yeah, and as far as I don't know. Both goaltenders have been fantastic, which has been the case pretty much all year. And Devin Cooley actually leading the league in save percentage is a wild stat, for every goaltender that's played over 15 games anyway. But I guess I've just been waiting so long to get to the trade deadline and trade, the week leading up to it that I've been watching the games, but it's like, they can't score goals. They're horrible offensively, and I still blame a lot of that on the coaching, despite how anemic their offense is, just by virtue of the lack of talent. But yeah, I like a lot of things I'm seeing. I like the direction that we're going in because we are sticking to, the reality of the team, so to speak. Being intellectually honest, as Jay Feaster used to like to say.
Yeah, I still wonder. I don't mean to sound past. Let's get into the deadline. We're recording this on a Monday evening, and I'm not going to lie to you. I'm obviously, based off the early conversations we were having here to start the show, I'm more worried than you are. All I keep hearing is that this it's a buyer's market right now. I keep hearing that over and over and over, which really doesn't scare me in the fact that I'm not really worried about returns so much this year as I maybe would be in years past or maybe some in the future that I'll be worried about. But I sit and I wonder, the deal to get a Kadri done is going to be kind of an intricate deal. I think Coleman, maybe not so much. I don't know. I just worry that teams are going to shy away from that term. I'm fearful of that.
I think that the center market is still shallow enough that you can get an okay return, which likely does mean some retention in Kadri's case, but the talk seem to be heating up. I'm seeing a lot more tweets about it, a lot more talk of Colorado, a little bit about Minnesota. There's always the teams that you don't expect to be involved too, but I think as teams are more honest with themselves leading up to Friday, then somebody's going to throw a trade. I think that's going to say, "Hey, here's what we're willing to give up." And Connor might just say, "Yeah, you know what? Screw it. Close enough, good enough." And from what I saw today, Elliot Friedman was talking about how Kadri wants to do right by the team. And I think he did that in the game against Anaheim. He played extremely well. Creating chances all over minutes, and
He's
that's
been
the
good
teams want to acquire, right?
since the Olympic break. He's been good. His numbers are not great for the year, but since the Olympic break, I think he's been a good hockey player. I think he does well out. I mean, and not that I was not a huge fan of the original Kadri signing. Frustrated with him the first couple of years, but I've changed my tone quite a bit. I've liked his play over the last couple of years. This year, maybe a little bit, but as a whole, I've liked his play. But I also am smart enough to know and look at Father Time and doesn't lose, and it's time to get that contract off the books so we can let some youth in. I can't believe Mr. Old School saying that, but I am.
Yep. Yeah, no, I think we get pretty good value on that contract too. So I can't really imagine a return where anybody's going to be upset. It's just one of those deals where it's like you want to move the player bad enough that you'll be happy with what you get.
Oh, they'll be part of the fan base upset.
Yeah, well, I mean, those people are probably the ones who will rightly say we should have traded him a year ago, but guess what? We didn't. So,
yeah,
I guess I just don't feel like dwelling on. I mean, this year's been so hard to watch that I just want to enjoy whatever comes back our way and start looking ahead.
Yeah. I heard also today that Trocheck's not interested in going to the Western Conference.
I hadn't heard that.
So we'll see what that changes. I mean,
I'm still not used to seeing Panarin in a Kings jersey, by the way. I just find that so strange.
I'm so not.
Plus, he's wearing a weird jersey number. Was he wearing like 72 or something?
Yeah. What was it? I think it was 72.
A weird number. Anyway, that trade just was so underwhelming when it happened. And I'm still not really sure I understand the Kings thinking and all that, but we actually, speaking of trades, we did have another one today. Connor Murphy from Chicago to Edmonton.
Yeah. Let's talk about Edmonton and Toronto for just one moment before we get back to Flames.
Oh, we can talk about it the whole show if you want. I'm more than happy to.
Edmonton, last 6 games are 1-5. They've allowed 28 goals in the last 6 games.
Yeah, Stuart Skinner was not the problem there.
None of the goalies are the problem. It is the defense.
So, do you think Connor Murphy does much to help that?
A little bit. I think
excellent penalty killer for sure.
I hate to say this. I think trading Kulak was completely idiotic.
Yeah, coming from the fans of the team that gave him away for nothing.
Kulak. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, what does Edmonton need? They need a stay-at-home defenseman whose game elevates in the postseason. Has Kulak not proved that to us the last 3 years?
Oh yeah, to a point.
He's a valued defenseman that elevates his game in the postseason, and is a stay-at-home guy that worries about in front of his net. Unlike many of the other Oilers defense, Darnell Nurse is a train wreck out there.
I still think that's the worst contract in the league, and I'm not going to entertain conversations to the contrary, no matter what anyone says, because I don't really think it's deniable at this point. But none of their players are that good at those roles. Nurse certainly is, and he's terrible positionally. Wallman isn't exactly a stalwart. Bouchard certainly isn't. And I understand that people will say, well, of course you're going to watch the highlights where like they get burned. It's like, no, like I watch, and I'm a big enough hockey fan. I watch them fairly regularly, and like defensively, they're not a strong group. And I think acquiring a guy like Connor Murphy has been its attempt to try and salvage what's going to be one of the last years that they likely have McDavid and Draisaitl. And, for the sake of their fan base, I mean, I hope it, they reap something of it. And but I mean, it's a last ditch effort. I mean, they don't have a goaltender that's going to steal you a series. They don't have scoring depth outside of, McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman, really. Oh, the Nugent Hopkins you can throw in there too, but they had such a hard time finding scoring wingers. The clock is ticking on this core, if you will. So
definitely.
But I don't blame them at all for making the trade. I really don't. I think it's a smart move for Edmonton to try and squeeze everybody juice to this lemon that they can, right?
And Toronto might. I mean, they're done. I mean, there's no way they're coming back from this. I mean, they're a train wreck. They're all over.
Name me a team in the league in a worse position than the Toronto Maple Leafs from a prospects pool and standings perspective. Can you?
Yeah.
Like it's that bad in both.
Lewis?
Yeah, but I don't think
retained any of their prospects for 6 years.
I don't think that St. Louis is hamstrung by bad deals as Toronto is, though, are they? They have some bad deals for sure. But
New York Rangers?
Yeah, but even the Rangers have accepted their fate. And like I said, traded Panarin, the talk of Trocheck, like maybe Miller's in the block. I don't know what the hell the Leafs are thinking at this point. And I'll be honest, up here especially, it gets exhausting, all the coverage they get. because they're a terrible hockey team. Like their season's over. They're not making the playoffs. There should be an exodus of players to try and hit some semblance of the reset button. And it's funny because it started a year ago. Well, not quite a year ago with the exit of Mitch Marner, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. They have a lot of really good players that don't work well together. I guess that'd be the best way to put it, right?
They're very poorly constructed.
And goaltending is another issue. And I know people argue with me and say that it's not in Toronto, but
I never understood the, Stolar's getting the attention he's gotten despite a very limited amount of work for that big of a role. Woll hasn't proven anything. I don't know. I just have such a hard time understanding why that team thought they were going to be good. They're slow. They're plodding. They're defensively porous. I think they lack character tremendously.
Yeah.
Based on what you see in their interviews and their performance and that. It's not a winning formula whatsoever.
Yeah. Back to the Flames. Lots of talk on X this week about Kent Johnson being a healthy scratch in Columbus.
Yep.
And many of the fan base in Calgary pointing and saying, hey, there's a guy. What's your thoughts on that?
I haven't seen, other than, I guess, to a lesser extent, Frost and Farabee. I haven't seen the Flames take a flyer and a swing on a reclamation project from another team in a long time. And I think Kent Johnson's a worthwhile shot. Why not? I mean, you've got the prospects and the picks to make a deal happen, depending on what it would take to get him. I mean, I'd love to try him out.
He's kind of the guy we're looking for in a way, right? I mean,
well, yeah, and I mean, I think I've been pretty clear. I've got some fairly close ties to the Columbus organization, and I think guys like Kent Johnson were coached into the ground. Like Dean Evanson, when he was coaching there, was terribly hard on his players.
Mm-hmm.
And now they have a guy who's very much a player's coach, and Rick Bowness, Moncton native, I might add. And we all know that those types of coaches have a very short lifespan in the NHL, especially these days, right? But to me, like, I think that's really what spelled the end of Kent Johnson in Columbus was poor coaching, poor mentorship. And it's not unusual that you see this happen with a good young player and they find their footing somewhere else. So, like, I was off reference a guy like Trevor Zegras, but I would absolutely take a chance on him. And we have, all the resources to make it happen. So why wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I thought too. I mean, I think this is all about taking chances at certain times, and this probably doesn't look like too bad of a chance to take.
Well, how good would a team that's likely to play out, or could be very likely playoff bound, like the Blue Jackets, how much better would they look with a Blake Coleman and a Joel Hanley, for example, like some strong depth pieces to push those younger players?
Yeah, I just can't help but believe that Coleman's not going to Dallas.
Yeah, the Texas connection is good. We're all going to think that up until the day he doesn't go there unless he does.
And not because, but just some of the things I heard were, well, my family went to Dallas to stay until the end of the year. And it's like, I don't know.
Did you hear about Tampa Bay being in on Cgy as well?
I did hear a little rumbling on that. And I guess, why not? They're an unbelievably good hockey team that could really, I mean, who couldn't benefit from good center depth, right?
Well, and they pretty well know at this point they're not likely to have to go through the Florida Panthers to go on a run this year. So that alone is like, hey, we're on a hell of a run. Yeah, maybe it's time to add one more piece. Now, making that work in Tampa would be pretty tricky, but
they don't have anything. They have not. Well, we're not probably asking for a whole lot.
I don't think
we're asking for them to take on this contract, and we'll retain some of it, right?
Well, I would think. I've heard there's some reluctance to do so, but I think the Flames have to be honest with themselves. No, that's what I mean. If you want to get any value at all, you're going to have to eat part of it.
No one's trading for Nazem Kadri straight up with his contract. No one.
Unless, the worst of it is a year ago they might have.
I know. That's exactly what I'm saying and get what I'm frustrated about. You're right. A year ago at this time, they would have.
Yeah.
But we would have to piggyback a freaking high pick to have that to not retain. And I don't know. I don't like doing that.
No, God, no. Anyway, like, I think at the end of the day, and it's funny because we know that, once we release this episode very shortly after, trade is likely to follow. which is fine. That's
when I'm done
the
recording, I will be getting this out as quickly as I can because
that or wait and we can edit it, right? Those are your options.
the nature of the beast this time of year, right?
Yeah, actually, to that end, just for those purposes, I'm just going to check Twitter while we're recording too, just to be sure nothing happens. I don't think anything will tonight or in the morning, but you never know. But again, I'm trying to be optimistic because Conroy's done right by us with virtually everything he's done thus far. So we should think that this week will be no different.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Matt Gridin turned 20 yesterday.
Yes, he did.
Is there a player on this team that you're not? How do I say this? Is there a player on this current Flames roster that you're more excited about the future than Gridin?
No, because I mean, possibly Wittenbach or Rushny or something like that. But I mean, because I haven't seen them at the pro level yet, it's really hard to say. But seeing what Gridin can do already, like when Trouba should have absolutely destroyed him last night and Gridin just stepped around him.
Yep.
That was a whoa moment. And was the prior game? No, it was Thursday's game when he just ripped that shot off the post. Oh. I don't remember that was like a Sakic-esque release. Like that was insane.
And his shot in the shootout last night was ripped off the post too. This guy has got a cannon.
Yeah, if he gets a scope, then he's good to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, his watching him play in the queue, like I didn't think he was this close to NHL already. And then after he went on a heater to start his first pro season this year, in Calgary, geez, I almost said Stockton. That would have been funny. He just kept getting better. And then now when he plays in the NHL, it's like he's legitimately dangerous every time he's in nice. You get that guy a center. Like,
and I think the points will keep coming as he matures even more. I mean, he's just turned 20 years old. Just to put that into perspective is crazy. And you mentioned Cole Rushny, who's at North Dakota right now, had a game tying goal on Saturday night. Looks really, really good. I'm interested to see how he progresses. I don't know if he stays one more year at the university or what happens there, but we'll see. But the other guy we got from North Dakota in the Erasmus Anderson trade, Abram Weeb, has been back-to-back NCHC Defenseman of the Week.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
He's just been solid. He's everything we want, and he's a left-handed shot defenseman who is just solid defensively.
You can never judge a trade. Rarely you can judge one instantly. And you can't really pinpoint a moment where you knew it was successful, but you can't help but love things where you see like he goes back-to-back Defenseman of the Week, and you look at the scoreboard and see Pittsburgh crushed Vegas 5-0. A Sidney Crosby-less Penguins crushed Vegas.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know what? And again, we talked about this in a prior show. When you remove a guy like Rasmus Anderson, you send him to a team like Vegas, you take arguably the most likable guy in the room and send him out in the trade, Zach Whitecloud. That does things to a dressing room. And I don't know. I'm not sure that we have to worry about Vegas in the playoffs in terms of how well they're performing. I know it's going to affect our pick, but it's like I'm not convinced about this team right now at all.
Let me ask you a big question. Zach Whitecloud, you mentioned how he's fit in so well.
Mm-hmm.
If he's traded before deadline, are you frustrated? Because I am.
That depends entirely on what you get for him.
Okay, so let's say you get a second-round pick and a mid-range prospect.
That's a little bit disappointing.
First-round pick.
I'm okay with that.
You are, huh?
Yep.
I think he's our first-round pick that we would want. I think we already got him. I think he is going to be a stalwart on the right-hand side for this Calgary Flames team.
I sometimes wonder if by the time this team is good, he might be, past his prime, to be quite honest. So I don't know.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, what is he, 29?
Yeah. He can still be a useful piece. I don't know. That the piece like that is so interesting because you can go either direction with him, and there's not really a clear-cut answer.
No, I know.
I think they'd like to keep him and he'd like to stay, but in order to do so, you're going to have to ignore some pretty tempting phone calls. I have to believe.
Yeah. So do you think the return on him or Uyghur would be higher? I know that sounds like a ridiculous question, but which one do you think?
Oh, based on the season the Uyghur's having, I don't know. They'd be pretty damn close.
I know.
Actually, the White Cloud return would probably be better because the lack of a cap hit and the lack of term.
I know. And
I don't know how Uyghur deal gets done, but I tell you one thing: the Uyghur that I've seen this season, I'd trade him out for a bag of pucks. Like, he's been awful, and I like Uyghur a lot, but he has been terrible, terrible.
He looks lost in the defensive zone a lot of times,
and he's contributing 0 offense.
Yeah,
hard to believe he scored 20 goals and 57 points a couple years ago.
Yeah,
was it a couple years ago? Or was it last year? It was a couple years ago, wasn't it?
2 years ago, I believe.
Yeah, like he went all Dennis Weidman on us for one season, then fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
Terrible. Oh God, this just. I mean, he was a big piece of that trade. That's and ordained as the next captain of the Flames. I don't know if you can talk about that anymore, but
yeah. He's got to change his game before that. Holy cow!
He's going to find it. That's for sure.
A couple episodes ago, we talked about how important it was to both me and you. We had the same opinion on this, that we see youth get a long run down the stretch here, like a 10, 12 game run in a position.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen that at all. And now Rory Cairns is injured. Is there a frustration level for you, like there is me, that if we're going to do this, why are we still doing what we're doing? And I know that the dread deadline hopefully will free up spots, but I don't
know. Yeah, I mean, I got a little bit frustrated with the Zane Parekh stuff because like they keep using that stupid phrase "load management." It's like,
well, no, my thought on that is you have to have Bahal play once in a while.
Yeah,
you have to have play once in a while, and I think that's all it is.
Yeah, I think you do. Yeah,
and I think Bahal's going to get moved, and I'm going to be sad because I like Bahal.
I do too, big time, and we've been big fans of his for a while. Can we pause this for 1 sec, Brad?
Mm-hmm.
I got to pull my food off the front step. Just a sec.
Yep.
All right. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
So what does a trade deadline deal for a guy like Braden Paul look like to you?
I don't do anything unless I get a third or better.
I think third's probably the ceiling. He hasn't played a lot lately.
I know, but when he does play, he's good. Like, he's not playing because he's not good. He's playing because we have a glut of right defensemen, and many of which are young prospects, which is good that we're giving them the opportunity. But it is a situation and a problem in Calgary when you combine that we didn't get rid of Anderson until a little bit, not too long ago, and then you got Uyghur, and you got Brstevich, and you got Parekh, and you got Pahal. I can't believe that a team's sitting fifth to last in the standings has a glut of right defensemen that are good.
So to that end, how many trades constitute successful trade deadline in your mind?
I think you have to. Number one, this is my deadline wish list. Number one, you have to have Kadri moved. Return, I don't care.
Yeah.
Number two, you have to move Coleman, and only because I believe he will draw a pretty healthy return.
Yep,
and I think we'll do well on that one. My fear is cap retention on those. We may have to take a salary back on one of the two, more likely on Coleman, to offset that cap retention. Number three, I think you need to address either Hanley or Pahal, or maybe both.
Yep.
Outside of that, I don't foresee anything, but I will be honest with you, Kyle. Like, if I pull up the roster right now for the Calgary Flames, I am entertaining offers on, I won't get any, but I would entertain offers on Beecher. I would entertain offers on Farabee, Frost, Klapka, Lomberg, Pospisil, Zari, Cherengovich,
Wow.
Hanley, Pahal, Uyghur, all those guys. I'd entertain offers on every single one of them.
So the ones you wouldn't, because it's easier to list them, right? And this, at least this is my list.
Yeah.
There's Brstevich, Perek, Wolf, Coronato, Kuznetsov, Ball. Yeah. That's
Gridin.
Gridin for sure. Yeah. He's actually the number. Him and Wolf are the two.
And Backlund, because Backlund's your guy that's going to carry you through this for the next year or two. Slides down to fourth line center. I'm good with that.
If that's the case, yeah, I still go back and forth on him, but I won't get in a big debate about Backlund because I know you need to have those types of players, but I'm also like, I'd like to see him move to have a chance to win a cup at some point.
Well, I would too, but I'm selfishly looking at the rebuild. I do think he is a calming guy in the locker room that can help teach and mentor. I don't know.
Yeah.
You need some of those guys. You need some of them. And if we're going to get rid of Coleman, then I need to have a Backlund.
Yeah, I agree with the logic behind it for sure. I just think if somebody comes to you with just a loaded offer, it's like, man, how do you ignore this, right? But
well, there is those situations. But do you think honestly that someone's coming with a big giant offer for Backlund? Because I don't.
No, because I think it's also well known they don't want to move him.
I just don't think anybody's showing up with a giant offer. Like I'm serious. Like everybody's for sale. Like if somebody right now came with a giant offer for Coronato, I'm entertaining it.
Yeah, you tweeted something with him the other day, and I was kind of.
Were you mad at me?
I wasn't mad. I'm mad about some of that, but I'm kind of like, I think it's a little bit short sighted, and just in its cynicism, only because
I wasn't being cynical. I'm being honest. He's not putting up points like a pure sniper should, and I wasn't the only one because it actually brings us to our X Factor, Kyle. Good segue.
I used to be really good at that. And I kind of fell off, but yeah.
The Bleacher Connection podcast. Also,
I read that as Beecher Connection for a second. Wow.
It's not the Beecher Connection. It's the Bleacher Connection podcast. Wrote, those are not hands of a guy who's going to perennially score 30 plus goals a year. And I'm with it, man. Mine was, when do we start to worry about Coronato goal production? 14 goals, 57 games for what we consider a sniper.
How about
writing him off? I'm just worried about it. I'm worried about it.
Okay, so here's my counterpoint to Bleacher Connection and you. How the hell do you score 30 goals on this team with this coach and these centers?
Okay, and I would agree with you on that.
Yeah, but the problem is, I mean, I don't know what his ceiling is anymore because he might be a 25 goal guy. Like, I get what you guys are saying. I don't disagree with it. If I'm Coronato, I'm like, you have two pure snipers potentially, him and Gridin, and nobody to get them the puck right now.
And I'm with you on that, and I am with you on that. But here's my fear, though. Does he look like he has the same jump that he did the latter part of last year and early part of this year? Because I don't feel like it.
No, he doesn't. But again, I just feel like it's been a really demoralizing season, right?
And I also don't know if he's dealing with an injury. I don't know. We don't know any of those variables. All I'm saying is I'm not writing off Matthew Coronato, but I'm cautiously optimistic, not guaranteed optimistic.
That contract extension feels a little premature right now, I will admit.
Right?
Yep.
So let's take it to the guy I'm worried about a whole hell of a lot more than Coronato. That's Connor Zary. What's your thoughts? Like, seriously.
He's been way better since the break.
He has. Better. You're right.
He's faster. He's better with the puck.
He looks more confident.
Yeah, he's got 3 points in his last 3 games or 4 games, whatever it is. Anyway, I just don't know if it's sustainable for him because he's always been so streaky, right? Now, injuries last year obviously played a major role in that, but I'm not. Ask me at Christmas time next year, bookmark it, because I think he needs a bit more room. I do.
So, well, and he's coming off an injury, so I'm being understanding, but I am concerned. I'm concerned about those two players. Yeah. I'm not concerned like an Adam Klapka. I know what Adam Klapka is. He's been miscast way too much on this team. He is a fourth line right wing that can be very effective. Stop with this freaking second and first line BS with Adam Klapka. And I'm so tired of hearing that he's like Protus from the Washington Capitals. No, he's not. He's all like Protus.
Yeah. At this point to me, because and you hate the line blender more than I do.
Mm-hmm.
I would run like a Gridin, Cgy, Coronato line for the rest of the year. Let them get used to each other. See what Cgy can do to get the puck to those two guys. Like, we know he has the skill to make some space. We've seen the skill from Gridin. We know how good of a trigger man Coronato can be when he's got that release. Like, just you got nothing else to lose. See what you have in Cgy.
Let us see it. I don't need to see John Beecher anymore.
Yeah, John Beecher got his first point as a Flame last night too.
Oh God. So here's another one to think about. There's been rumblings that maybe Resign Lomberg is being sought after a deadline.
And he's been very clear that he wants to stay, right?
I know. So do you want Resign Lomberg? And I know like our buddy Robert Munich is pro Resign Lomberg, and I agree with Robert on like 98% of things. This one is one I'm not. Like, I don't know why we need to pay somebody $2 million to be my fourth line left wing cheerleader that plays for the games. I don't know, man.
I don't mind keeping him around, but I mean, I think the understanding has to be is that you're taking a pay cut. We're gonna pay $1.50 on a 1-year deal. Like, I don't. This is not the kind of player that I want to commit to for any length of time. And I think because people value players like Lomberg, but I mean, should say teams that are competitive, especially. So it makes the call. Yeah, want to come back as a free agent? We'll talk then. Not saying we should, but
no. And I mean, if we did a 1-year deal at $1 million or 1.25, okay, I can live with that. But at some point, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. For so many years as a Flames fan, we have been slammed and told so many times that our locker room is so good and it's so good. And like, I don't give a shit if the locker room's good. I want to see us good in the standings, right?
Yep.
Do I want a good locker room? Yes, I want a good locker room, but I want us to win too. And I don't know that Resign Lomberg turns the switch on anybody in the locker room that creates them to be more of a winner. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, you can't with the roster's constructed, right? Resign Lomberg would be a good addition for, and at the time they probably thought, oh, we're a good young team who's going to turn a corner, and then we took a major step back this season, right? You can only play above your head for so long, I guess is what I'm getting at, and that's exactly what the Flames did in the 24-25 season. So it's open season on anybody except for the players we just named.
Yeah. No,
and again, like in terms of, and I've mentioned this before, like the idea of a player leaving and then coming back, because Elliot Friedman talked about that today with, or yesterday with regards to somebody, I forget who, but anyway, it's a thing.
Lomberg.
Yeah, it was somebody else though too. Anyway, it's a thing that can happen. It's all about right now. In terms of what you can get for a player, the direction of the team is predicated on where you see yourself going. But if somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, we know you love this guy in your room. We love him in ours. We're going to throw you a third and a B-level prospect for our playoff run," you take it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not saying he would fetch that, but I mean, some teams make dumb trades. Like, we can name guys over the last few seasons who've got so much more money either in free agency or you got so much for him in a trade. It's like, what the hell was the other team thinking?
The only thing I'm worried about, like with him, is that I don't think that a lot of teams are going to call, because the teams that would need him or want him are going to be those teams that are going to be like Florida was last year. But when he went on the run 2 years ago with Florida, he was in and out of the lineup.
Yeah, and he was basically completely and easily replaced by AJ Greer.
And AJ Greer.
Yeah. Yeah, so if he stays, I don't care. But if he stays, I don't want to see him 82 games a year, 84 games a year, like it'll be.
But maybe the problem is that I don't trust that Huska won't play him that much.
I don't think Huska's going to be here.
You don't? You think Huska's gone at the end of this year?
I don't think it's going to happen right away, but I got to believe that they're starting to pay attention. Like, the one mistake Conroy made was that contract extension. It was a stupid move. Especially a coach that has zero leverage. He's never won anything in his life. I'm not even certain I know he's lasted this long, right? And at one point, I was a fan when he first brought in. I thought he might be a good coach, but I watched like the
we were told how much he moves players and works so well with the young players and stuff. And everything I've seen since he's got here is he works well watching the young players sit on the bench.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like I watched the chase, which I'm not even sure what the hell they think they're chasing with that YouTube series at this point. I mean, to be crass and frank, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, as much as I decry coaches who are hard asses, there's also coaches that are way too soft. And it's like any other management in the world. It's like you have to sometimes talk to your player, your employees, and say, listen, this isn't good enough, or we need to change this, or I'm going to make this change. And I still feel like we always talk about the country club atmosphere, and I think that's a problem. So I don't want to see Huska behind the bench next year, because I don't think he's the coach that takes these young players to the next level, because he doesn't know how to use them. I don't know how else to say that. He doesn't know how to develop young players, and he's had some success. I mean, I don't give him any credit for Wolf, because Wolf is just an unbelievable goaltender at every level, but this load management thing with Prek doesn't work, I don't believe. Coronato is struggling mightily and should be given more high ground, better players to play with. Zary has been Sam Bennett 2.0 in terms of how he's been used. And I'm not suggesting that Zary has earned more opportunity, but
who would you put? I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt you. And I'm not defending Huska, but I sit and I say, well, who would you put Coronato with that's going to be better?
Zary and Gridin.
There isn't that's an experiment, and I'm fine with that. And I like that, because then we'd see who they are, right?
Yep. Or Frost and Gridin. Frost has had, lots of success at times. I shouldn't say lots, but I mean, he's had good stretches where he looks like a lot more capable. He's been a much better in the face-off dot. I just think if you're going to have young players like this, you have to be creative and you have to trust them. And I don't find that Huska does.
He doesn't.
No.
He's given us no indications that he trusts anybody young. He's given us a little bit in Gridin lately, but I would have loved to see a whole lot more Gridin in the third last night and in the overtime.
100%. 100%.
Because what do we got to lose? Like, let's let this kid flourish, and I feel like I've seen a lot of Klapka since Huska's got here, I've got to see a lot of Klapka, a lot of Beecher, a lot of Jake Bean, a lot of guys I don't really care to see anymore.
Well, because we're tired of seeing them, because we don't get results by playing those players, right?
No.
And we don't get results. That's one thing going through a rebuild, but you don't even get hockey worth watching is the problem.
Yeah.
Hockey's supposed to be entertaining, and there's no more boring brand of hockey right now than the Calgary Flames, unless Wolf or Cooley's making an outstanding save, or Gridden's ripping one off the post, or you know what I mean? Like, It's unfortunate, and we will get through it, but we're starting to see that there's going to have to be more changes than just a few players for this to, really get to where it needs to go.
Oh, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time, but I do like some of the things we got going. I guess I like the basic direction. I like it, this week, and probably why I'm stressed a little bit. This week's going to tell a ton for this organization.
Yeah, and that's why you're stressed, and I'm also stressed, but I'm also excited.
Yep.
And we do a pretty good job of co-hosting by one being positive, one being negative. It's not like we intend that, but
we flip-flop. We definitely flip-flop.
And maybe by Wednesday, you're excited and I'm stressed. I don't know.
I could be going, hey, I like that return. And you'll be like, geez, what are we doing here? But we'll see. If you ask me what I'm the most happy about this year, and I haven't put any thought in this because I just brought it up to myself, but I'm super happy with our goalie combination. I'm super happy how Wolf has come to in the second half of this season. I love what I've seen from Zach Whitecloud. Jan Kuznetsov might be the biggest surprise of the year. I think we know that Hunter Brustevich is an NHL hockey player. We've learned that Matvei Gridin is way better than we ever gave him credit for, and that Joel Farabee is probably going to be the shining spot of that trade, because I think he's a hell of a good third-line winger.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like a couple times a year he just puts on a highlight reel with a few plays of his, and his point production's been relatively consistent.
And I like he's responsible, though, too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's been really effective. We won that trade with Philly hands down. we'd both kind of hoped, I think, that those players, everybody else did, would turn into be a little bit more offensively, but the good trade chips and the good pieces to keep. I mean, Middlesex forwards are reliable ones, aren't quite so easy to find. So,
yeah.
But yeah, fascinating week ahead. So we get another show coming up on Friday, post deadline, live, correct?
We got a busy week. I'll run through it real quick here. Tuesday, Dallas is in Calgary. Thursday, Ottawa's in Calgary. Saturday, Carolina's in Calgary. Friday, we will be doing a live episode about 4:00 that day Central Time, which is going to be 3:00 Mountain Time for all of our listeners in Calgary, which is where most people are. We're going to go live. We'll talk for about 45 minutes on where we went with NHL trade deadline. During the day that day, you can hop on to flamesunfiltered.com for a live blog going on of all the most recent X things that are going down, up to the minute stuff. We'll be doing that all afternoon, and yeah, it's going to be a busy week, and hopefully a really positive week in Calgary.
I think it will be. Again, I'm going to play up the optimist for now. So, yeah, but yeah, big week, exciting week. I mean, we've been waiting for this week for a while. We knew the team wasn't going anywhere quite some time ago, so bring on the trades. Let's
do it. Let's get a return. Let's get something. Let's get these things moving. And God, I hope we don't wait till the last second. I don't know. Maybe we want to have something to talk about that Friday though. But
there'll be something for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Some sad news before we go. I listen to a lot of Sirius XM NHL radio, and this week one of the hosts, Jim Boomer Gordon, passed away after a fairly short battle with cancer. But yeah, it's just not the same on my Monday commute to work or heading to the bank in the morning to not hear Boomer letting me know what's going on in the NHL. And he did a really good job of that. And I'm going to miss listening to him every single day. So I was sad. It's a sad disease. And we feel for his family and everybody at the Sirius XM in Canada.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's he's been with it for quite a while. And I actually listen to him quite a bit too on my own commutes, in and around the Maritimes and part of my job. And yeah, it's I saw that in the day, and never easy for sure.
No, definitely. As we go today, we got Dallas, Ottawa, Carolina, some teams we don't get to, seems like we haven't seen for a while. Maybe Ottawa was something. Some good games coming up.
I was at that game against Ottawa. Didn't go well.
It didn't go well at all. But yeah, make sure you check us out on Friday. Kyle and I'll be here shooting off an hour of live NHL trade deadline talk, and then also hop on and take part in the live blog as the day goes on. Thank you, Flames fans. Hopefully I can relieve some stress. Kyle, you stay positive and optimistic. I like that. And we'll see you Friday.
Look forward to it.
I'm not against those methods, but it's me, myself, and how this gonna be fixed in my mind. Still on the record, I turned on the music. I do on the record, I turned on the music. It's an uphill battle that you sometimes losing. Have been on the discipline long.
Thanks for listening to Flames Unfiltered with Brad Burud and Kyle Lewis. Your source for unfiltered Calgary Flames hockey talk. Keep it locked on flamesunfiltered.ca. Subscribe where you get all your podcasts to never miss an episode. Flames hockey talk every week, presented by Inside Edge Hockey Media Group.